Hello. So the Neverness to Everness CBT2 livestream has just recently premiered, and a ton of new stuff has been added with a ton of new optimizations for the upcoming closed beta test too, which will be coming very soon on July 3rd. So yeah, uh, there's a ton of new stuff such as improved lighting, improved combat, improved story, but let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So first off, they showed a massive overhaul of the lighting system, both the lighting system on the environment, which is very heavily changed and looks a lot better, a lot like a updated modern game, as well as the characters. They've tweaked the renders, visuals, and the lighting on the characters a bit. Overall, the characters do look a lot more pale. That's probably an effect due to like there being a lot more sunlight onto them in certain parts, but yeah, I digress. They've also added new areas in the CPT2, so you can explore those areas as well as some shops, which is more shops. They've upgraded that system. Apparently, there's going to be a shop with a game mode that's like looks to be a Papa's Pizzeria game mode, which looks really cool, very nostalgic. So that's nice. So another thing they added is that you can change the time, obviously, of the day, but you can also change the weather. So you can change it to either being sunny, to being raining, or for it to be snowing, which I think is a bit of an interesting addition they added. It's not bad by any means, but it just feels like if you can control it from going from being sunny to snow in like 5 seconds, feels a little unnatural to be honest. But it's not a bad addition. You can like change it to whatever you want, so you can change it to being sunny most of the time or whatever you want. They've also updated the combat system. So they've optimized the controls, the animations, some skill descriptions, as well as some monster attack and camera logic. But the two main things they added is a dodge counterattack, so you can counterattack after you dodge, as well as a parry system, which, obviously takes heavy inspiration from other games, probably notably Wuthering Waves. But yeah, definitely a very nice addition to the combat system. They've also added some new playable characters. So one of the characters they showed off, new characters, is a witch person. So it looks like a person in a witch outfit. And I will say the massive hat that they have on their head, it does look pretty goofy. But overall, I really like their design. And next character, probably my favorite, is like a shrine maiden. Like reminds me of Sakura Yai. Looks absolutely amazing right there. And then the next one is looks like to be a Sunday like look-alike, looks like to be Sunday. Apparently uses their words to fight. Yeah, I don't know about that. In terms of the driving and the car system, so you can now essentially take cars from NPCs, either they give it to you willingly or you take it forcibly. And this introduced us to probably the biggest addition is the wanted system. There is a GTA style wanted system, which it looks like to be only 3 stars max, but there's progression and essentially you gain like you wanted stars, you gain wanted rating by the different crimes, quote unquote, by stealing cars, stealing from different shops, hitting NPCs, whether that's with your weapons, character skills, or with the cars. Reckless driving, so going super fast and just also destroying the environment, other cars, other people, and this essentially like leads them to being captured essentially by the police, which does look pretty nice, especially with higher levels. It does become a lot harder to evade the police, which I think is really nice. They made it like difficult to evade the police if you're at a high wanted level. It's really nice. They don't actually show us in jail. They like pretty much after they just show like oh, we're at the front desk of the police, but they don't actually show us, in jail any big thing for that. So it is what it is. Also, the driving itself has also been like a little tweaked with the controls. And they've also included a map with GPS. So essentially, you can pinpoint a location on the map, essentially, and it shows you in game where exactly to drive. So it's pretty nice. And they also have some street racing challenges, which we saw before. They have like boss fights, but here we have normal NPC street racing challenges as well as an online mode. So you can race players, you can race other players, which definitely great improvement, great addition. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't add at the very beginning some type of co-op or some type of online mode with the cars specifically. But yeah, in addition to the cars, they've also updated the quote-unquote real estate function. So buying a house, they have like more furniture, more real estate they can purchase, more control over where to place it, as well as looks like to be some special furniture that basically gives you rewards beyond based on certain stuff, like commission style give you rewards, which looks pretty nice, pretty nice. And then there's a story. They've added more main story content, and a lot of side story and character like bond specific stories, side stories like extra stories, a ton of the story content. So, well, hopefully they're pretty nice. And then a big thing is they've also increased the performance and like performance optimization, which is really nice. With the character renderings, the like quote unquote execution time in rendering things. They've also made it so that it has NVIDIA RTX on it, which is going to be really nice for those who can have RTX, as well as DLSS 4.0, the frame generation from the DLSS 4.0, as well as the multi-frame generation from the NVIDIA 50 series cards. So definitely a big boost in performance because this game is definitely going to be a performance heavy game with it being made in Unreal Engine 5. So very nice, very good that they're optimizing it for lower end devices. Speaking of lower end devices, they had a mini showcase with a mobile phone, and yeah, let's just say not the best look. They've said that they're not done with the mobile optimizations; they're only partially through with it. But even then, it doesn't look the best because there's a lot of stutters when things happen. Like when you're in combat, there's a lag drop, lag is down, and you can also overall just feel that it's like shot on a phone. Like overall, the entire visuals just decrease obviously because it's on mobile. And also some of the controls might be a little weird. Like I think basic combats, it might be fine because it's not that difficult, not that complex. But like something like driving, for example, on phone, you might be a bit complicated to say the least. Yeah, might be a bit complicated. And then finally, they ended off with the banner system. So the banner system definitely looks free to play. So first of all, instead of like a normal like banner menu and then you have a wishing animation, looks like to be like a interactive map with a die interface, like interactive game board with dice. Does look pretty interesting. It's not like a standard menu, so really nice. Though I do hope that like it doesn't take too long to do your pulls. It might because I do get the feeling it might take some time doing multiple pulls at once. You know, so hopefully they don't make that too complicated and too like unnecessarily long. As for the actual banners, so they're gonna have a standard banner and a character limited banner, obviously. So the banners will be a 90 hard pity. It takes 90 pulls to reach hard pity to guarantee yourself a 5-star, with soft pity at 70. So they specifically have it. So once you reach 70, your rates are going to increase. As for the exact details, will be mentioned later, in the CBT2. But it is like 1.88% chance for getting a 5-star for each pull, which is like incredibly low to be honest. But I mean, you'd expect one every 100 pulls to be a 5-star, I guess, excluding the pity. But yeah, and get this, there will be no 50-50 on the limited character banners. That's right. No 50-50. If you get the character banner, you'll get it forever. And it's like unlike other games like Do It Night Abyss, for example. Do It Night Abyss has it so that your first character is no 50-50. The subsequent character pulls will have 50-50, but this game will have no 50-50 anywhere, regardless. If you go on the limited banner, then you will get the limited character once you reach a 5-star. Standard banner obviously has their pool of different standard banner characters. Doesn't look like you can really choose, maybe they do a selector or beginner banner source, but yeah. And for the weapons, there actually isn't a weapon banner, which is honestly I found really quite surprising. They have mentioned that the weapons will be obtained via special currency and other in-game methods, like maybe a crafting system. And this is quite interesting because a lot of other games are adopting like you can get the weapons, 5-star weapons, through gacha as well as other in-game uh, activities. But looks like NTE has just completely skipped the weapon banner. They're like, yeah, there'll be no weapon banner at all. So definitely very much more free to play friendly than most of the gachas. So amazing, absolutely amazing. And yeah, and that was pretty much the CBT2 live stream that they had. Pretty much wraps it up. I am definitely looking forward to the release of this game. Absolutely. CBT2 will start on, I believe, July 3rd and will last for about 2 weeks, about 14 days. And hopefully, after that 14 days, hopefully they have it to where the release date is relatively soon. If this game could release this year, like 2025 calendar year, that would be phenomenal. That would be amazing. Because other games, so Do It Night Abyss, for example, they're currently having their CBT2, so there's a probably good chance, hopefully, they release this year as well. But then I'll say that it's a much different game, than NTE. I'll say Ananta is probably NTE's biggest competitor right now. The thing is, Ananta has like barely anything released, anything teased. They don't even have any closed beta, no news on a closed beta. So I think NTE could have the advantage, at least for a little bit, over the fact that it actually is being released. Whereas Ananta is just in the dark. We barely have any information. So yeah, looks to be amazing. Comment down below. What are you most excited for for the live stream and also for the game? Comment down, like, and make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next vid. See ya.